Speak up for those who have no voice, for the justice of all who are dispossessed. Speak up, judge righteously, and defend the cause of the oppressed and needy. Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Anyone who speaks up about injustices in the world is not concerned about their reputation. You can't call things out and be people-pleasing at the same time. Freedom comes from not being controlled by other people's attempts at false shame, blame, or guilt. True Crime with Marv. True Crime with Marv, Mark Tate, and Buffy Parrish are promoting the book written by Josh Sigler called What Happened to Tabi. The Kokomo Tribune had this to say about the book. On October 5th, 2002, the body of 16-year-old Tabitha Raines was found face up in the Cicero Creek in the Tipton City Park with a single gunshot wound between her eyes. More than 20 years later, no one has faced justice for Raines' killing. A new book entitled What Happened to Tabi doesn't claim to have solved the case, but its author, Josh Sigler, a Tipton native and former Tribune reporter, says the book provides more information than what's been released to the public and raises questions about how the homicide was investigated. Sigler, a 2002 graduate of Tipton High School, remembers going to school with Raines. Like many others at the time, her homicide has always stuck with him. It was shocking that a 16-year-old was murdered, he said. The case has always intrigued me because there was always a whole lot of speculation that there was way more to the story than ever came out in court. Sigler wrote an article for the Tribune in 2015 looking back at the case and the many questions still left unanswered. During writing of the article, Sigler was denied access to the homicide's case files by Tipton County Prosecutor Jay Rich. I am reluctant to release records in this case as it could compromise the integrity of any investigation that could arise in the future surrounding the circumstances of this case, as I would be regarding any major case this office has handled, Rich said in a letter. Shortly after the article was published, Sigler said he received a call from an anonymous source who told him that they had information on the case for him. When Sigler arrived at the address given to him, he found a box with 7 or 8 burned CDs that contained what is likely information given to attorneys during the trial's discovery phase. It's information from those CDs, along with a recap of the case, interviews with those involved in the case, and a recent interview with Raines' mother, Buffy Parrish, that make up most of the book. Sigler says that the book suggests that law enforcement were far too closely connected to the suspects and major players of the case, creating clear conflicts of interest. It just seems to me that there was a whole lot of incentive for those in power to not tell the whole story because of who they may have been protecting, Sigler said. It's an unfortunate story. There's so many unanswered questions. Until there's probably a change in the political seating at the county level in Tipton, no one will probably ever see the true case files and see what's really in there. Sigler, now a resident of Mishawaka, will be in Tipton on Sunday and is holding a book-selling event that day from 2 to 5 p.m. at 125 North Main Street in downtown Tipton. If anyone wants to buy a book but can't attend Sunday's event, Sigler said people can email him at sigler.josh@gmail.com to coordinate payment and shipping. Raines, known as Tabi by her loved ones, was last seen alive around 6:30 p.m. October 2nd. Raines told her family she was going with a friend to the hospital to visit the friend's sick grandmother. She was reportedly picked up by her friend's boyfriend, Kyle Neff. She never returned home. In March 2003, Elizabeth Balser, then 18, was charged with the murder in connection to Raines' death. 2 others, Neff and Jonathan Yates, were also charged with murder and with aiding or inducing or causing in connection with the homicide. The charges largely centered around the testimony of Andrew Bush, 17 at the time, who said he was at the Tipton City Park on October 2nd and had seen Balser get into an argument with Raines, accusing the 16-year-old of stealing cocaine from her. Bush said Balser then shot and killed Raines. Detectives said at the time that Bush's information corroborated details known only by authorities. Neff would later strike a plea deal with the state. In exchange for his testimony, the state agreed to drop all charges against him, except for aiding, inducing, or causing battery. In his testimony, Neff said he gave Balser the gun that killed Raines and that he drove her to the city park that night so Balser could beat up Raines. However, both Bush and Neff admitted to taking drugs that night. Bush admitted to drinking that night as well as taking 120 milligrams of oxycodone, 3 or 4 milligrams of Xanax, and marijuana. Neff admitted to being high on cocaine that night. Balser was acquitted by a Hamilton County jury. Her defense pointed to the lack of physical evidence, painted Bush and Neff as an unreliable witness, and argued that Balser couldn't have committed the killings because she was at Little Daddy's adult entertainment club with her mother that evening. Charges against Yates were later dropped. Neff was sentenced to 8 years in prison for the aiding, inducing, or causing battery charge, but after successful appeals, he was released in January of 2006. No one has since been charged in connection to Raines' death. Today is the What Happened to Tabi event. It is scheduled from 2 to 5 p.m. in Tipton at 125 North Main Street. You're welcome to come purchase or pay for your book then. If you can't make it today, please email sigler.josh@gmail.com. Once again, we are promoting this book and would like others to purchase it and read the information in there. This information correlates to the information that is being released on Tabi's murder on True Crime with Marv. Thank you for joining us today. Please attend the event if you can and purchase this book and watch future episodes of Tabitha's story on True Crime with Marv. Have a great day.